Hey guys, Foster here. Just a quick note before we get started today. We are doing something very, very cool in 2020. So this year we are going to do 12 language challenges in 12 months. So on the first day of each month, we will start a new language challenge, and each challenge will focus on a specific topic or subject to help you really improve your English. For example, we are going to have a challenge about phrasal verbs, a challenge about how to use prepositions, a challenge about how to learn grammar without using textbooks. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we would love to have you participate. So if you are serious about your English, you should really check out these challenges. To learn more and start improving your English today, just visit inglesnuecru.com. Okay, on with the show.
Pessoal, a promoção de janeiro do Cambly de 50% de desconto em qualquer plano anual, tanto de adulto e de kids, ainda está rolando. Dos dias 1 de janeiro de 2020 até o dia 16 de janeiro de 2020, você pode aproveitar essa promoção. E é muito fácil, é só ir lá no cambly.com ou no aplicativo do Cambly, se inscrever, colocar o seu e-mailzinho e o nosso código, claro, que é 50 no e cru para o Cambly Adultos ou 50 no e cru Kids para o Cambly Kids. Lembrando que o 50 é numeral, tá? E, gente, lembrando que você pode se arrepender, hein? Vai chegar esse dia, em 2021, e você vai estar assim, ai, devia ter aproveitado, devia ter feito, que bobeira, que bobagem. Pois é, então acredita na gente, vai fazer muito bem pra vocês, tá? Então tudo aquilo que você quer começar, começa agora, e principalmente dando aquela força pro seu inglês. Então é isso. Now, on with the show.
Dad, something very convenient that I love about you is you have grown to love and understand podcast, which Mom still yet does not understand.
That I do, especially of the true crime variety.
So Alexia and my dad are both huge true crime fanatics. What would you say is your favorite podcast?
Well, I got two go-tos, and please don't laugh at me. But if I'm in the car and I got an hour to kill, I always pull up Sword and Scale. This guy does 1 hour true crimes, and they're in and out 1 hour stories done. It's always just mesmerizing, well told, and always just bizarre, brutal things that
You've probably listened to hundreds of those.
I've probably listened to 50 or 60 of them for sure. He's got a couple hundred, and I love How I Made That, which you turned me on to, which is
How I Built This.
How I Built This.
Yeah, which we've talked about on the show.
They're talking about entrepreneurs that really, and most of them started from nothing. And a lot of these folks are billionaires now, and it's really fascinating to see how people have started their business, and it really shows how that serendipity plays into just about every one of their successes.
Absolutely. And obviously you were a huge fan of Serial, which was what put podcasting on the map.
Yeah, Serial got me hooked too.
Yeah. You know they're coming out with an HBO show about Adnan.
He's innocent,
We don't know.
I know.
We don't know. You probably just caused a huge controversy in Brazil right now. All right, Dad, just a couple of questions to cap things off. If you were talking to a Brazilian who had never visited the U.S. before, where would you recommend they visit?
Wow. I'd say Spartanburg, South Carolina. And hopefully Alexa would tell you if you want to see true America, you need to go to the small towns and just see how we live. But with that said, you got to go to New York, you got to go to L.A., you got to go to Las Vegas.
My dad,
you got to go to Orlando.
Does gamble. So just to give you some context, Dad, most of our listeners and pretty much all of my students, they have been to either Miami, Orlando, LA, somewhere in California, and New York. All Brazilians go to all those places. Everywhere else is like, I've never heard of that. What is it?
Well, sure. I mean, if I was going to visit Brazil, I'm going to go to Rio, Sao Paulo, or all the cool places. But how many beautiful small towns are there in Brazil that nobody goes and visits? And I think you're missing something if you don't see the true culture of people.
Yeah. So focusing specifically on the South, you were born and raised in South Carolina. You left South Carolina for 4 years to go to the next state, Georgia, and Atlanta, to go to university, and then you came back. So you've lived in South Carolina for however old you are.
Old.
What do you think makes South Carolina or the South in general special or different from other parts of the U.S. that Brazilians might not know about?
I mean, I would think if you talk to a fella from Omaha or Boise or, Phoenix, they're going to say their hometown is the best. I mean, we all have an affinity for where you grew up, where your friends are, and where your family is, and you get used to the weather and the scenery. But the South, and I've traveled a lot. I've traveled all over the world. Hadn't spent a lot of time, in like you have, Foster.
Thank you.
But I think you'll probably say that you met some of the finest people you ever met in a little village in Guatemala, and those people exist, in every small town in the world. But the Southern culture, to me, and I'm certainly am biased in that respect, it is there's a gentleness and a warmth and a authenticity to the Southern people that I just don't think that other parts of the country understand. And I hope, Alexia, I hope you've seen it and you actually feel it. I think we're misunderstood. I think we're misunderstood by a lot of the world. I mean, they think we're, that we're hicks and we're country, and but we're just like any other part of any country. We have our ways, and I'm certainly comfortable in them. And I think we're the friendliest folks in the United States. That's for sure.
Yeah, just end on a bang. Yeah, I would agree with. I mean, Southern hospitality
it's a real thing.
It's a real thing, and it is definitely on par with the best. All right, Dad. So to end, just to set the context really quick, last week I was talking to another English teacher from California, and we were talking about different translations of difficult words to translate from Portuguese to English. And we were talking about how to translate the word redneck. And then she said, "Would you be mad, or how do you feel if I call you a redneck?" So what do you think about the word redneck? Because when I was answering that question, I was like, my dad is depending on the company, will self-proclaim himself as a redneck, sometimes a Lebanese redneck, which doesn't truly make sense. But is a redneck good thing, bad thing, totally dependent on the purpose?
I think redneck at one time was an endearing term, and the redneck was a farmer. And the farmer was a person who worked outside,
literally
from sunburn, and because he worked outside all the time. And I think it took on a negative connotation over the years, not from Southern people, not from other rednecks, but from other parts of the country. Don't get me wrong. There is a Southern component. A true redneck today, to me, is oh boy, is that really mean-spirited, maybe slightly racist.
A real redneck has a negative connotation.
A real redneck has a negative connotation. Now, a good old boy is kind of the best of the redneck. He is a gentle soul. He probably did farming, or he maybe works in a factory, but he's just a good old guy. Loves to hunt and fish, and is just a good old guy, a good old boy. But redneck, I don't use redneck much anymore, just because it does have that negative connotation.
But among friends, it wouldn't. Like, even among my friends, I could be like, I can say something, and I was like, that was, we're rednecks.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually today. I think the word country has taken over redneck. Country just has a gentler.
Country's still a safe word.
Yes,
for sure.
That is a much safer word. So
yeah, okay. So last question, Dad. I would like to seek a little bit of advice. You have owned and operated your own business for over 40 years now. Do you have any words of wisdom or advice for me and Alexia as we continue this crazy venture that is Inglés no Cru?
Well, first of all, I'm so proud of you guys for doing what you're doing. I mean, and I apologize for infecting you with the entrepreneurial spirit, because I don't think you would ever be happy sitting behind a desk, working for the man.
Something I always say that we talked about on a podcast recently is I would be a terrible employee. And that is a phrase I completely stole from my dad.
Yes, you did steal that from me. I truly believe if I had to work for somebody else, I'd be fired the first day. Not because I wouldn't work and I wouldn't know what I was doing, but I wouldn't handle authority very well. So I'm immensely proud of what y'all are doing, and look where you've come from. And you really truly came from nothing. I didn't lend you any money. You said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it myself. You went to business school, so you had a good idea of the background that you needed to make a successful business. But you had a talent, and entrepreneurs have to have a talent. You can have the best talent in the world, but if you can't execute on it, it means nothing. And you have a talent as a language teacher, and the whole idea is, how do you make money doing that? And you guys are trying to scale it up, and all I can say is keep going. Now that your podcast has taken off, I mean, when you get that many ears, there's got to be a way that you can monetize that. And with your background, just keep on plugging. It's one day you're going to say, wow, I can't believe we did this. I really can't believe we did this. And there was times 40 years ago when I said, what the hell am I doing? And am I ever going to make any money? I got 2 little kids and I'm broke. And then, all of a sudden you say, wow, how do we do this?
Were you broke when you had us?
We were broke. We were broke. We were broke like most young parents. It takes.
No, that's encouraging.
Kids are expensive, and it was tough. But but one thing you will realize that building a business is not an overnight success, and wealth is built over time. Now you can't gauge yourself against the .com startups and the Ubers and those crazy Silicon Valley folks. Most people start businesses very small, and they grow very slowly until they hit a critical mass, and then things take off. But those things take years, and y'all are putting in the work to make it happen.
Yeah, that's our idea. Is always start small, stay small, and our motto has always been lose well. Which I don't know if we told you that we're going to Wilmington to see a comedian he is the one that coined the term lose well. And I think that entrepreneurship is just a series of not knowing what you're doing, trying to figure it out, and trying to help people.
You're not going to win. You're not going to win them all. That's for sure. I screw up every day, but the wins certainly outweigh the losses.
Okay, Dad. It has been a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm sure that thousands of Brazilians are immensely confused and happy right now.
Yeah, so who is that guy? But a shout out to my boy Hanan and Shago, all my friends in Rio, Jojo, Ice Cube. I love you guys.
Yes, we have Hina, who might add, affectionately called Ice Cube, who is a rapper from the 1990s, still around nowadays. Thiago, Diogo, who my dad could not say, so he said Jojo. So if one day my dad meets you, he will just give you a name that is comfortable for him to say. Anyway, thanks for coming on the show, Dad. It is a pleasure. We could not have done any of this without you. Love you, and we'll see you soon.
Love you too, guys.
Muito obrigada por ter escutado mais um episódio aqui do nosso Inglês de Necro Rádio. Como sempre, vou pedir para você deixar sua review, deixar o seu e-mail no nosso site inglesdenecru.com, ficar de olho nas novidades que a gente sempre manda, nossos recursos grátis, enfim, todas as novidades que a gente puder, a gente vai estar compartilhando com vocês, principalmente por e-mail. Então, é isso. Eu quis aqui dar esse recado. Como sempre, obrigada pelo suporte e a gente se vê no próximo episódio, tá bom? Bye!